Hello. Hi. I'm Kylo, and I was given an opportunity to work with Qanba on reviewing some arcade sticks that was provided today. Today I'll end up reviewing the Qanba Q8GR, and I'll also be reviewing the Qanba Obsidian 2. And they are really nice sticks from what I'm seeing here. As you can see here, you got the Qanba Q8GR. Looks pretty nice. It does have the Qanba KS gravity buttons, and it also has the Qanba gravity joystick. So, this is a fully PC joystick. Even though it's not advertised, it did work on Linux. As you can see, that I'm playing video games. I'm getting used to the stuff, getting used to the controls for it. And it is quite a different experience than using Sanwas, because with Sanwas you get that noticeable feedback and that click whenever you're moving the arcade stick. With the Qanba gravity buttons and the Qanba gravity lever, you don't really get the same amount of feedback, but you do end up getting smoother movements and softer button presses whenever you are using the arcade stick. Now the arcade stick is really heavy, and I would say that the Qanba Q8GR actually is heavier than the Qanba Obsidian 2. Because I had, used both of them. The Qanba Obsidian 2, when I was provided that by Qanba, they had included Sanwa parts in there. Now the only thing that didn't really include was the octo gate, so I'm not entirely certain if the octo gate does come with it. But I did end up providing my own octo gate, and I'll probably end up put like a proper mod later on for it. But it does come with premium Sanwa parts. The stick is good, the buttons are good. It's a tournament grade stick. It even has a tournament lockout switch, so you're going to use it on PS5, PS4, and PC, which are the main things people use. Typically, when people are practicing for a tournament, unless they are in fact playing on console, normally they're playing on PC. And then when they go out to go to a tournament, they end up switching that to a PS5, or if they have to get some sort of adapter for their arcade stick, like one of those Brook Universal adapters. But on Qanba's end of things, you get PC support and you get PlayStation support. Basically the two main things that are currently being used as of right now when it comes to going to tournaments. Now, the Qanba Q8GR is incredibly hard to open if you don't have the right screwdriver. Now, I barely had the tool to actually open it, but it did in fact take a while to actually open. Now, when I did open it, I did take a look into the inside of it. I did notice that the switches are actually different, because I had attempted to also change the gate on that one. Instead, I had to use the included gate that Qanba had provided, which would be their circle gate. But it was significantly heavier than the Qanba Obsidian 2. Now, the Qanba Obsidian 2 is really easy to open, and the fact that it is really easy to open makes it, I think, arguably better if you're going to take it to tournaments with the, because you can use a standard iFixit kit. With the Q8GR, you need a longer screwdriver, so you might have to get one of those longer iFixit kits, or you may have to find yourself a longer screwdriver to kind of take with you if you do happen to take the arcade stick with you. Now, since the arcade stick does support D input and X input, there is the possibility that you could put it with an adapter for the Q8GR to also use that on console. But mainly it's just a PC arcade stick. Now, these buttons and lever on the Q8GR are the same buttons and lever on the Qanba 2009. And hopefully one of these days I get to review that. But that is at least as much as I know. The only difference between the Qanba 2009 and the Qanba Q8GR is the Q8GR's buttons light up, and they actually provide you with visual feedback rather than the feedback you get when you're hitting the buttons. Also, with the Qanba Obsidian 2, you also get an included bat top. So that means that you get the opportunity to switch it out in case you're going to play a game like Tekken or Virtua Fighter, or even one of the older 3D games. But then you are also provided with a feature on both arcade sticks to where you are able to actually open up the very bottom of it to switch out the ball top for like a bat top or vice versa. Now, when I was using the Q8GR, I did end up getting used to it. I did end up liking the arcade stick, and it actually worked pretty well on Linux for what all it's worth. Now, the only problems I had is I had to like unplug it and plug it back in, but that wasn't the stick's fault. That was actually Steam Input's fault. The Steam Input has the thing that if you do happen to unplug something or your controller ends up dying, you lose that connection. You're not able to reconnect it. However, once you do have it reconnected and you do have that connection on there, you should be good to go. Again, I don't really recommend using Steam Input for it if you can help it, but it will work. And it will work for all the modes that are even being provided for the Q8GR with also the Qanba Obsidian 2. Even though it's not directly stated on their site, it does work on Linux, as Linux does have the drivers that do support these arcade sticks. Normally, I'm playing on something that has a 2040 CE in it, like my Mayflash or my custom Qanba Carbons that I have. Now, when it comes to doing motion inputs and playing the games, it's significantly easier, at least for me, to do it on the Sanwa arcade stick, because I've been using it on a Sanwa for a very long time. If you're coming from a Sanwa or a Semetsu or even a Korean lever, and you're going to the Q8GR and you're using the Qanba gravity lever and the buttons, well, you might end up noticing that the buttons are very similar to gamer fingers. With the stick itself, the stick sort of feels like it could pass as a Korean arcade stick with how it feels and how it does spring back. But even though it's not, it's its own thing. Besides that, the Q8GR is a pretty decent stick. You know, I've been using it a couple times, and it does also come with a joystick guard. So the joystick guard is mainly meant for if you're going to throw it in a backpack, or if you're going to get one of those included Qanba backpacks that you can actually put the arcade stick in. That way, when you are traveling, it won't make the stick move. Also, I'd like to report that that same guard will also work on other arcade sticks you have, but it has to be a ball top. If you try to put it on the bat top, you're going to run into problems. It's not going to fit all the way. It's not going to adhere to the bottom of the plexi. So it does rely on the plexi to kind of keep it stationary. But other than that, through everything I've witnessed, through all the games I've been playing on it, and the games I'm plugging into playing tonight, at least with the Obsidian or with another arcade stick, they're both pretty good. Honestly, I would say that I do like the Obsidian 2 a lot better, because the Obsidian 2 is arguably, I would say, probably just better quality than the Q8GR. But on the flip side, with the Q8GR, you do get more features for like the stick that's in the $99 bracket. If we were to take a look at Qanba's website, you can currently see that they currently have a sale right now. And if you were to take a look at the Q8GR and look at the Qanba drone, well, depending on what you're playing on, I'd say go with the GR, because if you'll have more, it has more weight to it. It has better, arguably better buttons, better stick as well, and you're also able to hopefully later on change the plexi. But for now, it's pretty good because everything can kind of light up. You can kind of see everything going, and it looks pretty nice. Now, now if you had to, you could get the drone, but the Q8GR does seem like you are getting more out of it at its current state when it is currently on sale. Now, with the Qanba Obsidian 2, it is a premium arcade stick, and the premium, it's about as premium as you're going to get as far as Qanba is concerned. It is significantly cheaper than getting a Vitrix, and it does have a really good weight to it. It comes with like padding. Both sticks come with padding. But it has a really good weight to it. It's not going to move out of your lap. It's going to be able to actually, be able to be used in a good manner when it comes to playing your arcade games, whether you're putting it on your desk or if you have it in your lap. Personally, I like to have the arcade sticks in my lap because it just feels better that way, but I can play with them on a desk as if it was like a traditional arcade. But yeah, that would be my review for the Qanba Obsidian 2, as well as my review for the Qanba Q8GR. And, you know, being provided with that, you know, it's definitely something that's good. Now, I do want to note, during the unboxing process, as far as a teardown, you know, the Q8GR is significantly harder to open. So you might end up running the problems with that if you bother even opening it. But you do also have the option of changing joysticks out. So I do want to leave that as a note that you can change the joysticks and the buttons on this. The only caveat is you can't really change the artwork yet on the Q8GR because nobody's really offering that just yet, which I do wish Qanba would reach out to Focus Attack and say, hey, here are the schematics for the Plexi. Go ahead and make the Plexi for this, and then, you know, make the art for it as well, so we can get custom art for that kind of stuff. If it comes with the Plexi, I don't see any reason as to why it can't get a custom Plexi, if you know what I mean. Now, with the Obsidian 2, those do end up getting custom Plexis, as well as the option to change out the sticks and the buttons, like any other standard stick. The only difference is, this one already has that option of switching this Plexi out. I'm not sure if that's a Qanba thing, or if it's just a thing that Focus Attack has yet to even do yet. But regardless of which stick you get, you're going to get a quality arcade stick. I cannot say either stick is worse than the other one. They are both good. They're both good for their own use cases, for their own brackets. They both feel premium. As far as like a PC stick, the Q8GR is very much a premium PC stick that I would say is at least, if not a tier above the Titan or even the drone from what I've seen online. And hopefully I get to try out a Titan or a drone sometime. But it is good to see that across the board, Qanba is good at making consistent arcade sticks. And if I had to like choose between one or two of them, I'd probably end up choosing the Obsidian 2, just for the fact I can update it, I can upgrade it, change the Plexi on it, change it to have artwork on it, change the buttons out, do a bunch of stuff. It's like infinitely, it fits my preferences. But the Qanba gravity buttons, as well as the stick, well, those are pretty good too. And they're honestly really close to like Gamerfinger San was. The stick itself is unique in and of itself. It kind of reminds me a little bit of a Korean lever. It's pretty decent. And the spacing on the buttons on the Q8GR is actually more than it is on the Obsidian 2. So you have to be aware of that. But other than that, you know, I hope you enjoyed this review. And I hope you all have a good night. And if you're using Linux, this helps further reinforce the fact that you can, in fact, play fighting games on Linux, and you can also, in fact, use the Qanba arcade sticks on Linux. Anyways, hope you all have a good night. Bye-bye!